Hello everybody, I'm Tim Blair, and it's time for the Clay County Times-Democrat Weekly Web Update for the week of January 29th, 2014. Our weekly web updates are brought to you here on cctimesdemocrat.com by the good folks of Piggott State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, and serving this region since back in 1930. Well, we come to you actually today is Wednesday the 29th, and we're coming to you around midday. It's a beautiful sunny day here in northeast Arkansas. The temperature has climbed all the way up to 30 degrees. May not usually get excited about a 30-degree high, but after the recent temperatures and the fact it was down around 5 or 6 degrees early this morning, it's looking pretty good. If you saw last week's webcast, I actually originated that from just over here, very near where I'm at here on the parking lot of the First Baptist Church in Piggott. But due to the wind and the fact I got really, really cold, we had to scrap that one for one done over at the office. But we're back here in the, as I said, parking lot of the First Baptist Church in Piggott as we bring you this week's webcast right across from the Piggott Library. And here on the corner of which is North 4th and Main Avenue, where the Smith home was formerly located. At least it was located there until yesterday when the crew from Steve Champ Farms and Excavating came in and demolished the building. And we came down with our cameras and got a few highlights of that, and let's share those with you now. Again, the demolition was thanks to a donation to the Piggott Public Library by our sponsor, the Piggott State Bank. They gave them the money to purchase that property and also to have the demolition completed. And now that that is complete, we spoke with the library director, Gay Johnson, and right now their plans are up in the air. They would like to eventually be able to use that to expand the library. They would really especially like to be able to utilize that for parking, but we're just going to have to wait and see how funds are available. And again, we'll have more details on that in the upcoming edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat, including some photography of the demolition as well. Now, in this week's edition, we encourage you to pick up a copy of the January 29th edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat. This week, we've got all the information on a lot of things, especially the burn ban, which is currently in effect. We'll talk about that and the problems that we've been having with wildfires around the region. We'll show a little bit of tape from that coming up in just a bit. Also have a story on the efforts to renew the Boy Scout program here in the Piggott area, and a little profile on Joe Cole and some of the efforts that he's had in the organization over the year, and also helping to try to get that back on track. Also have news on the most recent quorum court meeting, and we also have the story on Jim Poole's announcement for the position of mayor of Piggott. He's thrown his hat into the ring for the November election to replace Gerald Morris, who's retiring at the end of his term. Also, we have all the details on the Rector High School FTA, helping out at Rector Elementary School, the program they have there. We also have information on a very interesting project that's going to be going on up at the Hemingway Pfeiffer Museum and Educational Center, where they will be having a guest guest artist in named Tim Youd in the coming times. We have all the details on that, and you can check it out in the 29th edition. Also, all the information and photos from the Rector High School homecoming, which was held this past weekend. And, of course, information on the Lady Cougars, the Mohawks, and Cougar basketball teams all being in action in the past week. And a feature on Tanner Murray. The former Mohawk has made the roster of the Arkansas State University Red Wolf baseball team. We wish him the best as they will be getting their season underway a bit later in February. That's all in this edition. Also, we'd like to remind you it also contains our hometown business special supplement, all in this week's edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat. Well, we mentioned that there have been some wildfires around the area. In fact, the Piggott Fire Department rolled out on 3 different fires on Sunday. We went along and checked out them battling a little blaze out north of the fairgrounds, and let's check that out now. And again, we have the best respects for all of our first responders. It's tough to give up your afternoon to go out and fight a grass fire because possibly someone threw out a cigarette butt or so forth. But again, we remind everyone to observe the burn ban while that's in effect and use extra caution. Now, in the upcoming edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat, we'll have all the details on the destruction of the Smith House. We'll also have information on some grant presentations. Representative Joe Jett and State Senator Robert Thompson coming to town and making some grant presentations. We also have a grant presentation that will be going on a little bit later on this afternoon over here at the library involving local farmer Jody Henderson and a Monsanto grant to the Piggott Public Library. We'll have all the details in the next edition of the paper, and also, of course, complete update on all of the basketball and other activities that are going on across the region. We encourage you to look forward to that, but of course, pick up a copy of this week's edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat. They're available on newsstands all around the area. This week, Hardee's coupons. You can offset the price of the 75 cents for the paper with just one trip down to the restaurant utilizing those. So we encourage you to pick that up. And also pick up a copy of the Delta Voice. They're on newsstands all up and down the region, and they are absolutely free. Well, with that, we wrap up another edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat Weekly Web Update. We're brought to you here on cctimesdemocrat.com each week by the good folks at Piggott State Bank. And until next time, I'm Tim Blair reporting.